these people are so fired up because they're so excited about the debate that's going to be tonight.
Can't wait.
But they're also fired up about the persecution of Donald Trump. And I think that's where it really gets down to. When they target the president, I don't think they realize that these people feel like they're targeting them by extension. Joe Rogan on his podcast really got to the bottom of this. He said, look, convicting Donald Trump, that's all they have. Watch.
I think they have no cards, and they're looking at this game, and I don't know. I think they're depending upon party loyalty, and they're depending upon Trump getting convicted and arrested. I mean, and imprisoned rather. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think it is. It doesn't seem to. It just seems like it's a bunch of trumped up charges. No pun intended.
One of the other things he suggested was regarding Joe Biden, Joe Rogan said, at this point, the Democrats really have to kind of run him unless he dies. And there's, at the same time, we've got to tell you about the 6th annual Reagan National Defense Survey and what it looks like. Essentially, it takes the pulse of America. And they talk to a number of adults, and I forget how many it was in particular, but they weren't voters. They were just adults in America. And it tells a lot about how America's feeling about this president.
Americans don't have confidence in this president. Only 36% have either great deal or some confidence. 17% have little confidence, and 47% have not much confidence at all. And Trump fared significantly better with a 47% favorability rating and a 50% unfavorability rating, Brian.
So with 97% of stories written about Donald Trump that are negative, he's still beating on the Real Clear average. And every latest poll over the last 6 weeks, Lawrence, he's beating Joe Biden by 2, 3, or 4 points. Nikki Haley beats him by 11. And what their attack plan is, similar to Barack Obama, Mitt Romney, they made him the worst person in the world. What they're going to do with Donald Trump and say he's a fascist, they already called him Hitler, he's going to destroy democracy. So it's not like we're better and you don't want to go back to that, because they don't want you looking at his 4 years. Or they want to mischaracterize those past 4 years. And they want to make him unelectable and say, you're stuck with me. And that's the question right now. Is that going to be enough? Since they've already played the Hitler card, actually in November, are they going to be able to do this for the next 12 months?
Brian, they're doing that while they have people that are within their party that are spewing Hamas talking points, that literally want to get rid of the Jews in this country. So they don't get to come after Donald Trump and call him a racist when you have literally people in their party, which is why the president is adjusting his foreign policy on the matter, that are calling for the extermination of Jews. But don't take my word for it. Let's talk with the folks in Georgia. All right, guys. So I asked y'all earlier today who would be your candidate in the race. But I want to ask you now, do you feel like Donald Trump is being targeted by all of these prosecutions?
Yes, I do.
And why do you think they're targeted?
Because they don't want him to be the president, the next president.
Yeah. So I hear from a lot of you folks that when they target Donald Trump, y'all feel like y'all are being targeted as well. Why do you guys think that?
Well, I don't understand. I mean, I don't feel like I'm being targeted. I feel like that they're doing it because if they can get him convicted of something, then he can't run. Yeah. That's the way I feel.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to win this election?
Trump.
What about you, sir?
Trump.
Yep. And what about you, sir?
Donald Trump.
Ditto.
Ditto? What about you?
Same.
You think Donald Trump's going to win? What about
Yes, sir. I think so, too.
So, of course, we're in Georgia, and it's pretty much Trump country, so I'm not surprised that you got a lot of folks that feel like Donald Trump is going to win. Joe Rogan, Sheriff, and I'm going to talk to you later on in the program, you're in law enforcement. So how do you feel about the weaponization of your branch of government right now, going after their political opponents?
Well, the hierarchy is those that where the rubber meets the road, they're doing their job day to day, and we appreciate those people. But the people at the top, they're going after him bad, and it makes the rest of us look pretty bad too. But right now in Georgia, we're doing good.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. All right. So there's a big debate that's going to happen tonight. We know what's going on in California, been overrun. And then you got Ron DeSantis in the free state of Florida. I guess my question to you, because you know how Gavin Newsom is, he's very smooth. Do you think DeSantis is going to be able to take him on tonight?
I certainly hope so.
What about you, sir?
I think it's going to be Trump all the way. And DeSantis, I think, is still going to kick California's ass. So.
Thank you, sir. Well, you know, if you come to the South, they're going to tell you exactly how they're feeling. I'm going to send it back to you guys in New York.
Brian's talking, but I'll take it away. I'll describe that as a colorful crowd